will need to do that thing where I turn off the volume here.
Yeah, I have to turn the volume down too.
Or it's going to be that screeching noise. I mean, we won't have this problem when I'm back, you know? We won't have it because we'll be using the same unless we're using too many.
And it's so beautiful. We are live on YouTube.
Yes.
Say hello, my sister.
Just waiting for
Instagram.
Hello,
welcome to our live. We are checking on the connection on IG, Instagram, and we are live on Instagram and YouTube. So yes, hello everyone. It's exciting to be back in here. Eva, say hello. Where you going?
Hi.
Are you around, my darling? There we go.
Yes, I'm joining. Request to join on Instagram right now.
And then
send request. Waving at you.
There we go. Awesome. And then, where are you, Eva? I can't see you.
I'm here. I sent a request just now.
Okay. Invite. There we go. Hello. Hi. Hello. I have my copper here.
Okay.
That echo is our friend every week.
Oh good. Oh good.
Oh good. Oh good. Oh good. Oh good. Oh good. That's not an echo. It's me saying.
No, I can still hear the echo though.
Oh
but
yeah,
it's not
I can
as
hear
loud
the
as
echo 100%. Is it your end?
Okay. I don't know.
Still there. Awesome. Do you wanna do something for the echo? Cause I don't think it's. Yeah, it's not here.
I'm gonna try my headphones.
Headphones on.
Sorry guys. This will soon be solved.
This is what a live is. Hello. Oh.
I think it's sorted now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh yes, awesome. Wow. You okay?
Oh, you froze.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
And I'm back. Hello, my lovely people. Welcome to Guided 888. This is Zoila Garman.
And I'm Eva Lepkowska.
This is our weekly Saturday live,
where we answer your questions and dive deep into our spiritual practice.
Awesome. Well done. So today we're going to be talking about
our intuition. Because last week we talked about energy and how we can use it for our, advantage.
Yeah.
But today we're going to go deeper and talk about the actual intuition and how we can use it for, in our daily lives for guidance.
Excellent.
So this will be more in depth because last time I think we just touched upon, the different possibilities. And now we're going to actually dive deep and explain the intuition and what we can do with it.
Awesome. And then on the same line, I would like to start with a question, which is fair, because there are many people here that might not understand what intuition is. And let me just do something, because there's something here. Eva, I would like you to describe on your own words, and not by what you hear out there, but what you feel intuition is.
So intuition, for me, yeah?
Yeah.
So intuition is something inside of me.
Yeah.
It's something that almost like the subconscious mind, but I wouldn't identify it with the subconscious mind because the subconscious mind also has different behavioral patterns that we've learned from other people. So it's not actually who we are. So the intuition is something that you can listen to and get messages from. It's kind of hard to explain,
Yeah.
but it's something that protects you or guides you in certain situations. So, for example, you meet someone and you have this kind of feeling that, oh, they're hiding something. They might say, oh, they might be really like a people pleaser, or they might be really, really nice to you, but somehow you have this feeling that they're lying to you, that they're not actually being truthful. And it's just like this gut feeling. I feel like that's the best way to explain it, is this gut feeling. And it tells you, it's like, someone says something, but you don't buy into what they're saying. So it could be that they're trying to manipulate you by, trying to maybe in the future sell something to you, or they might want to, they want something from you, and you just feel this energy. It's kind of like reading into energy on a different level. But it's also like different other situations where you might be going somewhere, and you just feel like, I should go into the shop or something, or I should move or go somewhere else. And then later you find out in the news that, oh, there was a car crash there. So in a way, it's like you were being told or guided not to go somewhere. Or it could be you get a certain idea for your book. Maybe you're writing a book and suddenly you have this spark, this idea.
Yeah.
And this kind of, it reminded me of the book, Big Magic. If you're creative, you should read that, by Elizabeth Gilbert. And she talks about this kind of intuition, gut feeling of how you get these ideas out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So
excellent.
that's kind of,
I think that's a good description of what intuition means. And my point of view is really similar. I would just add, like, is the ability to know things even though you don't know where that ability is coming from. Like, intuition has no human sense most of the time. Like, you receive things or messages, and most of the time you don't know where that message is coming from, and that is intuition on its very development, on its very own. And for me, we're gonna be discussing now, well, no, for me, for everybody, we're gonna be discussing now how to listen to the intuition, how to make the most of the intuition, and how to kind of develop or trust the intuitive mind, the intuition. We were actually talking about that last week, Eva, and we made a beautiful video where we put an example of how do we develop our intuitive mind through the medias of practicing telepathy. And I know this might sound a bit like woo-woo for many people, but really, this is something that we should be aiming to grasp a bit more, because it's true, it's real. Telepathy happens. Sometimes you just know things, and this is it. This is the basic of our intuitive mind. When you just know things out of the blue, as I said before, you don't know where this knowing is coming from, and it has no human sense. It has no sense really for a human mind. But then it is really intuitive knowledge arriving to your whole self, and you are listening. If you express it, if you believe it, it's because you are listening to that message. If you just ignore it and think, oh, that's my mind playing around, that is bad, basically, because then you're saying to this knowledge coming out of the blue, well, I don't trust you, I don't want to go with you. And then your intuition is like any muscle, let's say. Like, if you don't practice, it won't develop. It will not develop if you don't trust it. And that is one of the things that we are gonna discuss today. But before we enter on the meat, before we enter on the main topic, we would like to share with you some examples. I don't know if you have thought of any examples, Ava, of when we were using intuition on our own. But I would like to share with you that we were practicing meditation together, and through that meditation we aim to utilize our medium or our intuitive mind. And this intuitive mind gave us so much messages and it gave us so much knowledge into how to connect with other real, with other realities, with other spirit, how to talk to others and other entity rather than human, and how to communicate with ourselves as my sister Ava and I through the mediums of telepathy.
Yes, I feel like this might be quite advanced for some people who are just getting into or going through their spiritual awakening. But yeah, but it's something that you don't actually have to be super spiritual to actually be able to use your intuition, because it's almost like everyone has it. It's not like we're it's not like we can, like, obviously we can expand it, but it's like actually everyone has it. We just don't listen to the gut feeling. We don't check in with ourselves how we're feeling, or so people are more likely not to listen to their intuition, even though they have a feeling, oh, might not be good for me. Or it's like when eating dessert like cake or something, okay, this isn't healthy for me, but I'm gonna have it anyway, even though you have a feeling and your intuition might say, you're gonna be sick after this, and you still have it, like, so it's like a lot of people, everyone has it. It's not everyone listens to it, but when you do start listening to it, like we started with meditation, it opens up so much more. So what we kind of intentionally asked to go the telepathic route, because we wanted to explore that. So we sat down in meditation and in a way set the intention, and we were able to connect with other non-physical entities, let's say, to help us be guided in this direction.
And that's the thing, like, intuition is quite subtle, it's really simple. It's like most of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis, because it is that simple, it can get lost in the mist of the human busy mind.
Yes.
And therefore, because it's gonna get missed in the human, or missed or forgotten in the human busy life, we don't pay much attention, because we think that the thing that's easy for us, it doesn't have any value, or it doesn't add any value at all. And that's the thing, like, intuitive mind shouldn't be difficult to achieve, because it's already there. And the only thing that it can do is, when you use it, it will develop with the time. But because we have been programmed from very early age,
I was gonna say
that is affecting us. The old programming, okay, the old human programming is affecting our humanity in general, to not listen to our intuitive mind, because it thinks it's just imagination. But then, one more time, everything comes from imagination. Imagination is certainly the basic of the first stage of anything that's been created in this world, and universally, and everywhere that you can imagine.
But yeah, everything starts with the consciousness, with the spark. Without consciousness, without creating something else, we wouldn't be. Without the creation, without the imagination, we wouldn't be moving. We'd be static. We'd be, like, I guess, dead, because if we're alive, we're actually always moving outwards. We're radiating. Even energy is moving out of us. So there has to be that kind of creation, that imagination for things to exist, I guess.
And that's the key point, actually, because we are using our imagination, but really, our imagination is that subtle something that we really need in order to start listening to our intuitive mind. The intuition starts with the imagination, basically. That's all I'm trying to say. And we are going to discuss now, and I'm going to kick in, discussing how to develop, how to listen to your intuitive mind. One of the first things that I use for listening to my intuitive mind is trust without questioning.
You have to trust,
yeah, without questioning, because sometimes we trust in ourselves, in the messages that arrives. Just trust it. Don't question it, because that's one thing. Like, we trust about things, but then our human mind kicks in. Will that be true? Why are you asking me to do this and that when this doesn't make sense? And that's the key point. It doesn't make sense because you're still on the present or the past, living the present or the past. But when you are in the present and living in the future, many more things will make sense to you. You see, and that's the thing. Intuition goes on hand with the future. And that's why many things wouldn't make sense on our point of view, because our reference is, as human, is what have already happened and what is happening at the minute. When really intuition is what is happening at the minute related what is going to happen. So intuition is one step ahead from where we are. And that's why we have to listen to that without questioning, because really we are thinking about what has happened, but intuition is what is going to happen. And really the only step that's alive, the only reality that is life is the present moment.
Yeah, I always say time is an illusion, and there is literally only now, like that you, because the past has already happened, and the future is untold. Like but every moment is now. Like, you live in the now. That's why I don't think time exists. We have created time as a human construct to help us, plan stuff. So, like, I have a diary where I write down, that our life starts at this time. But in the whole reality, I feel like I always remind myself now is the only time. And so it takes away that kind of living in the past or living in the future, and then actually being able to make decisions as well from the now. Because when we're too focused in the past or the future, we it's like we're living in a different reality. It's like we're not taking action. And I like what you said earlier about the intuition, about non-judgmental, because once we judge something, it's our ego mind that comes in, and our ego is kind of like the reasoning part of our mind. So it's something that protects us because it's conditioned from like our what we've been programmed growing up from like parents and media, and so it wants to protect us from not being hurt. So for example, if you want to start a business or start writing a book, but you don't actually get it, or you're doing procrastination, it's because your ego mind is kind of coming in and telling you don't do it because you will be hurt. So the great thing about intuition is it's always, in a way, it's once you get the hang of it, it can actually lead you without you having to question things, and you will be in the right place at the right time. And even if it's something bad that happens to you, it's still something that you learn from. So the intuition is actually there to guide you. In my perspective, is to guide you through life.
Exactly. And it is there for a reason. But it's up to you, as we have always reinforced and said, like, it's up to you to listen to your intuition. You have a choice. And I don't know how much can we kind of stress on the you have a choice type of quote. Because really, we all have a choice. We will always have a choice because we are free beings. And intuition is a gift given by the whole nature, by the same God, by the same universe, you name it if you want to name. I respectfully name it by God, by
Source
creation,
energy.
creation and God. It's been given to us to understand a bit more of your life path and the choices that you have to make in order to deliver or to achieve the life path that you have signed for. It's in your contract, but there are certain tools like we signed this contract of life, of coming here to live this life, and then the contractor said, yeah, I'm gonna give you these tools so you don't get lost
Yeah,
around the
let me
thingy.
just say for the people who are like, what contract did I sign?
Yeah.
So it's not like a physical contract that we're talking about, but if you believe in reincarnation, which I feel like our audience would, it's when you're a soul in the other, on, you know, in the non-physical land of things.
Yeah.
So like imagine yourself as energy. You're a bowl of energy, you're a soul, and you want to learn something on earth, and you decide earth is the perfect place to learn about love or about something else, I don't know, power, or you want to learn something. So there's these, you've got your spiritual guides, and they're like, okay, let's plan this out for you. And so they kind of find little circumstances of what you would want to go through in your life. There might be certain things that you like, I need to experience this to then understand and learn what actual love is. So you might have to experience the opposite of love to then actually be recorrected onto your life path, which is to learn what love is. And so you then kind of in a way choose your parents, or choose the kind of ideal way you want to come into the world. So yeah, then you kind of decide where you want to live, location, who your parents are, and you go into that. And it may be, I know this will sound really weird for people, but like I didn't want to be abused when I was a child, but like it's hard to like, I guess I don't know how to give people comfort, but in a way it's like you chose because you wanted to experience that loss so that you could actually turn it around and grow from that. So whenever we experience bad things in our life, we can always turn it into something beautiful. And a lot of people I see who are light workers, who are empaths, and who are, you know, making a change in the world are the ones who actually went through pain, and so they turned it around to actually inspire the world, that show, look, I've gone through all this, but I now, you know, I have created this lovely life for myself. So I know I went on a whole like story of how we come into the earth.
Yeah, no, that's good, because then that applies to the techniques of how to listen to more intuitive life, or how to listen to your intuitive mind. And it is true, you just have to be entwined, because it's not difficult, it is there. The only thing that we need is to trust. Because if you think about it, our mind, as I said before, is on the past, but intuition goes in the future, present bump into the future. Like there is a machine that calculates the possibilities of an outcome, but then the choice is yours to accept it or reject it. And this is it, basically. That's normally everything. That's all about intuition. It's like this type of tool that's being given to you. You use it if you want it, or you use it if you don't want it. If it fits in your bag, you use it. If you don't want to use it, then you don't use it. But that just complies with everything we've been saying. You have a choice to choose.
Yeah, I just want to add something to what you said. You said it's easy. So what I want to kind of rephrase that and say that it's simple, but not always particularly maybe easy, because our ego mind comes in. So actually, it's simple, but it's maybe not easy. But it depends really on how much, you know, it'll happen, you know, depends on your choices and how you approach it. But it is simple. That's what we're trying to say.
it is simple to utilize our intuitive mind. And something beautiful that is coming around, that every day I can see there are many more people joining this new love in their self, this new trust in their life purpose, understanding that we are more than just bones and flesh. And this is coming basically from listening to an intuitive mind, to your intuition. Because really, really, we are more than just this beautiful body that we are in. You know what I mean? Like our mind connects in ways that we still don't understand. But here's the thing, most of the powerful things, powerful energies like water, like air, like x-rays, like the sun's rays, these things we can't see, we can't understand, but they are hugely powerful. And here comes the intuitive mind, here comes the intuition. We can't see intuition, we can't buy a gram of intuition in the shops. Thankfully, because they will be really, really expensive to buy, because it is the most powerful tool that we as a human could have. It's like seeing the future but in the present, and knowing what to do with the future while you're still living a step ahead. But here's the thing, we can't see it, but it is the most powerful tool that as a human you could utilize, you could use for anything that you're planning to do. So intuition really pays off his own bills. Like it is like having this little window to see a little bit of what could happen if you do certain choices in the future. What
it's like we don't even know the outcome. We don't even know the outcome. We just have this feeling like, oh, go there, or pick this up, or I don't know. Or when you leave your tap open in your house and you forget about it, and you're like sitting, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I need to go to the kitchen, and you're going to the kitchen, and then you actually pass the bathroom, and it's like, oh, okay, turn it off or something, and
for no reason, apparently
and
for no reason.
Sometimes it's so subtle that you don't even know it. It's like when I think I mentioned a few weeks ago when I went on a chat, or I was looking through the chats, or I was going to text someone, and then I saw another name, and I'm like, oh, I haven't really texted her, or I haven't had a conversation with her before. And then I wrote to her and said, hi, how's it going? Like just random. And turns out, her cat was ill and was passing away, and I'm like, oh, I had this last month, and she's like, wow, like what was the reason for you to text me? I'm like, I don't know, I just did. And she's like, I think we felt like we had to have that conversation because we had the relation, we could relate to each other's experience of our cats being dying, but the intuition was so subtle, like I didn't even question it. I just like, okay, here, I'll just, hi, how's it going?
Yeah, because it's something that is talking to you, you don't know where it's coming from, but it's kind of, if it's settled in your mind, in your body, it will kind of move your feet towards the need. Because if it lets you to go away, it will be disastrous, as in something might have happened that might stop you from your life path. And intuition will never allow that to happen if you listen to it. But if you consciously like reject it, well, obviously you have no choice, is it? Eva, can you give me an example as to when you have used intuition? And I know I am putting you on the spot here, because these questions we didn't plan. This one that I just said, we didn't plan this. We didn't talk about this. Give me an example of when you have listened to your intuition and you have kind of just accepted it, Or it could be vice versa. Just give me an example of when you have heard that voice. Oh yeah, this is
Yeah,
intuitive.
well, I mean, I just explained one of them, which was texting someone randomly.
Mm.
But I get
Yeah,
a
but
sense of feeling when people
it will
text me
be
as well.
it will be how do you know that was intuition? Like how do you
Okay, right.
recognize?
So at that moment, I did not know that was intuition, but afterwards, when we did have the conversation, I'm like, it was just such a random thing. Like I've never, like, not really talked to her before, and the fact that we were then talking about something that we've both experienced, and it just felt like I had to be there for her to say that I've experienced something similar while she was going through a difficult time. And we're like, wow, this was meant to be. So it kind of comes back to the intuition is something that guides us. And I felt like in that moment I was guided because, like, just the chances, that it was like that. But
what are the odds?
Yeah, what are the odds? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like sometimes you don't know, and it's like when I've started my new Instagram account for my coaching, and it's just like I keep bumping into people who just come into my life, and they kind of add to my life, or end up talking to like someone else, another friend of mine. And I just feel so connected right now. I just want to put that out there, that I feel so connected with the universe and source and everything right now, every single person, because I feel like I was talking to my friend the other day about her goals in life. And then suddenly, and then I also posted, because I posted a post and named some people that I admire, and I think they've added to my life. And so I've added a few people, and then I had a conversation with a friend about her goals. And then later she told me that one of the people who was mentioned in that post actually messaged her, and it was just like, I just feel like we're all connected right now, and our intuition is guiding us into falling into the right connections.
That's exactly what it is, because intuition will drive you to the places and people that you should meet and be, like the places that you should be. It's like being at the right time with the right people.
But the beautiful thing is that we're not expecting this. It's like we don't even have to force it. It just, the idea just comes, and we just follow the intuition, and
It's
then
what it is.
it's like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
right, I needed this.
It is what it is, and that's basically it. Like that's intuition on its own. Like it is what it is. It has no end. It has no beginning. It just there. It is just there. Like it's coming from the future based on your present. And that's why thinking in the human mind, it doesn't make sense, because the future is somewhere and the present, and the present is in another plane. It's in another line. So trying to match the two of them is a bit non-human type of abilities. But then here comes intuition telling you, well, if you don't do this, that is gonna happen. Here's your choice. You choose.
Yeah, you always have a choice. Yeah.
You choose. And
yeah,
this
so
is the
basically
beauty.
Your intuition is always working, and it's always, that's what's beautiful, is you have free will, so you can actually follow it or not. Just notice when the ego is trying to protect you from it, like what your reasoning brain comes in and like stops you from doing stuff.
Yeah, basically it's that. And then but if you think about it as well, it is a tool. It shouldn't be difficult.
No.
It is a tool. It shouldn't be difficult, and it is there for us to use. And yeah, it doesn't go, it's not gonna make sense, but at the same time, you shouldn't reject it. You shouldn't doubt it. You should just trust and go with the flow and see where it takes you. Now, a way where I know that this is my intuition and it's not my mind or my ego kicking in is like I receive messages like this. Like when it's intuition, it just says this. For example, I'm
Mm.
buying vegetables at the supermarket, for example, and I feel, oh yes, I need some tomatoes. Don't question it. Go get the tomatoes. And then I have a visitor in the afternoon who's talking about tomatoes, how much he loves tomatoes, and I am like, oh yeah, do you want
Oh
a salad? I
no,
have
this
some
just
tomatoes.
reminds this
It's just
example.
intuition. Don't question it. Tomatoes sounds
Hmm.
ridiculous. I don't eat tomatoes. My kids don't
Yeah.
eat tomatoes. I don't implement. It's just an example because I love tomatoes. It's just an example.
Hmm.
But then this person comes and visit me and is talking about, for example, how much they love the tomatoes, and I am like, oh, that's why. If I
Do you
wouldn't
want
have
some?
chosen, yeah, if I if I wouldn't have chosen to buy the tomatoes, I wouldn't be able to offer what these visitors like the most, tomatoes. So that's
Mm.
intuition. It might not make sense at the very moment when you receive the message, and it have even sound ridiculous. Why do you want me to buy tomatoes? Do you know?
Yeah, no, I could totally relate to this because whenever I go on set, I have this little belt bag when I'm doing crew jobs as a production runner. And what I do is I always pack whatever I see in my house, so like tape or like rubber bands or like pens and paper and whatever and clips, and I take them all glue, and then I just take really random stuff. And then on that specific set, someone's like, "Oh, I need this. I need a tissue," and I'm like, "Oh, I just packed it today. Here you go." Like I'm not even thinking about it, but I'm just like, "Why do I need this?" But I take it, and then suddenly someone needs it. So yeah.
Exactly, exactly. It's not sometimes, while I was saying the example and while I was listening to your example, it
Mm.
is basically not about us all the time,
Mm.
but because we are basically thinking what could happen to us or what could happen to our body, to our me as a person. That's why sometimes we don't kind of connect with intuition because we are thinking about us really. But the thing is, intuition doesn't only count on you, but counts on you and everybody else around. It just
Sometimes you're
reads
that
energy.
person. Sometimes you meet one person,
Mm.
and then later, like, you meet, and then you don't meet them again. But that for them, that meeting, they could have learned something from you, and like their intuition said, talk to this person, and then you said hi, had a conversation, and they might have learned something that's really changed their life, and you don't even know about it because you don't have any connection to them. But it was highly important for that thing to happen.
How would you recognize intuition in your mind, Ava?
Intuition is when it comes to me before my thinking mind comes
Okay,
in.
okay.
So it's like like suddenly I have a thought, and before my brain even starts, rationalizing, is this correct or wrong or whatever? It's there, and it's kind of like a random thought. Like it's a random thought. It's something that I don't know. I didn't think about before. It just comes to me.
Yeah.
So we were actually doing an intuition game yesterday where my friend was leading a call, an acting call, and what she did was like she was asking us to say a word. Like we're
Yep.
gonna do animals now, and everyone had to just come up with an animal. And literally, I was the first one to be like Dalmatian because the image of a Dalmatian popped into my head, and I don't even know why. And I'm like, I just said it. Or another round we did fruit. No, we did random words, and me and this other guy we said oranges at the same time, and we're like, what? So it's kind of like I don't know. It just comes. It just comes, but without even the thinking mind working. Yeah, if you
Right.
know what I
And
mean.
it is a good point that you mentioned that because the way I see it,
Yeah.
in a physical way, it
Hmm.
pops in my right side of the brain.
Okay. Yeah. Hmm.
In a physical way, it might be on the left side for many. Depends what is your dominant type of or side of the brain.
I feel like it's my right as well.
Mm. Um,
Yeah.
It says extremely battery is extremely low. Let me just connect my my
Little tech issue.
yeah. Hopefully it's not gonna be bad because just
We've got
because
about 20 minutes.
yeah, it's the battery says it's extremely low. Anyways, as I was saying, it
Mhm.
is mostly I feel it like on the right side of my brain, the right side, and then it comes before anything, as you were mentioning, before any thought in my mind, before anything whatsoever. It just comes with the mind thought, with the thought, do this, and I am like, okay, do it, and then my ego, my mind kicks in. My human what is going? Aha, I'm back. My human behavior, my human mind kicks in, as in, okay, why do you want to do this? And that's how I know when it's my intuition, when it's my human mind, or when it's my ego. Because really, my ego questions things.
Yeah.
My
Reasoning.
intuition give you things, give you choices, and your human mind question your ego and your intuition, because the human mind is there to kind of protect you from getting into danger, from making sense of things, for analyzing things. Your intuition is there to give you messages, to give you options, to make you aware of what is happening, which is different from questioning things, is different from analyzing things. The intuition, how to describe an intuition and how to differentiate the intuition between your human mind and your ego, easy. Your intuition arrives first. It's the first kick in that you have when something happens. Your human mind.
I learned yesterday that between the ages of 0 and 7, we are running on our subconscious. That the conscious mind only kicks in at age 7, which means that when we're younger, we don't have the ego that says don't do, it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, maybe I'm not good enough. Those thoughts only come when you're 7, so we actually soak up everything between 0 and 7 years old.
Between the age of 0 and 7 years old, your mind is learning. It's like a sponge. It's getting everything, getting ready in order to run the automatic brain, the automatic behavior. And that's why we have to be really careful with the kids that are on the age, because really, it's just you have to be really careful with that. Really, really careful. As a mom, because I have 2 little ones, as a mom, I have to be extremely careful with what my kids are watching, learning, the friends and the behavior. But I have to give them choices, because they have to be able to make choices even at that stage. Because they are free, we are free, I am free, and I understand freedom is a virtue and has never to be taken from somebody else, even from my kids. But yes, I understand that your brain until 7 years old is sponge learning everything, basically getting ready to run the automatic brain. And then that's the key, that's the thing, we have to break through the automatic gaming. Because if we are running on automatic, means that we are not living our lives. We are running all programs, all behaviors. Like, for example, when you walk, you don't think anymore right, left, right, left, right.
Or breathing,
left. Breathing, exhaling, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. You don't thinking about that anymore, because really that's gonna take power out of your processing brain. Processing power in computers, in terms of computer, will be the processor, which is the one that runs all the process all the programs in your device, in your computer, in your brain. However, the kids, yeah, until that stage are learning in order to automatically deliver. And here's the thing, even then they have the intuitive mind, but in their case it's more like imagination of the things that could happen. In our case it's the same thing, but then we learn throughout the years that imagination is something that not to be trusted, when it's all the opposite. Like, I remember I've been told, like, oh, that's your imagination, like if his imagination wasn't something important, when really imagination is the basic of everything, even including intuition. And intuition is the basic of, or the knowledge, or the ability, the ability to know things even when they don't make sense, which is, you know, anyways. Basically, I understand imagination is in my physical reality. It comes to my right brain, or my right side of my awareness. It's the first thing that pops in before anything. It's the first thing that pops in my brain. Then my human mind and my ego discuss between them as
I get that.
as to whether that option will be the most wise, the better, the things, what's gonna come. But then the intuition is already there. The intuition is the message that you receive, the initial message you receive. Then you differentiate that from your ego, because the ego question it, intuition doesn't question itself. It's just there. And the mind has to kind of question it, because that's the work for the mind, and the mind, it does its job pretty well. And then that's the way how I describe it, how I can differentiate them, because they are so subtle, they look so alike that they seem to be the same source, the same place where it's coming, the messages are coming from, but really they are quite different. Mind will always question it, ego will not. Ego will question it, and your intuition will not question anything, will just tell you what you have to do. If you want to know why, you ask why. Don't question it on the way of rejecting it, but let it be questioned in the way that you want to know more about that. And that's my point of view. Physically, Eva, do you feel that you have any way on how to recognize it?
Well, I mean, from what I've said already, it's kind of a thought that comes in before the thinking mind kicks in. But it's sometimes like, sometimes you're like, oh, that's what I just got a thought, you know. Sometimes it is that you're just sitting, and then it's like, oh, I got a thought. And then other times, as I said, writing to my friend, it was so subtle that I just like, I wasn't even aware that I just thought that. I was just like, oh, okay, well, you know, I just did it, you know, without even questioning.
Which is the reality, really. And that's the difference, basically.
We've got about 10 minutes. I just wanted to let you know. So do we have anything planned for the last 10 minutes?
So, well, what I'm gonna do is to invite our listeners actually to follow us on the YouTube channel, which is under the same name, to listen to our podcast, and to be aware that our next podcast is gonna be out on the 5th of this month. Also, on our IG, on our channel, we're gonna be doing some card readings. On Ava's personal channel, I just wanna say that Ava, well, you're gonna say it anyway, but Ava has launched herself as a life coach, which is really exciting. Life and spiritual coach, which is what I am planning to do as well. But I'm planning to do it on my business type of side, which is gonna be in a month or so. And on my IG, as well. You can find card readings, messages, and other things. So if you want to follow us, just make sure to follow the links on the description, or to go to our YouTube channel and find all the links there, or go to our IG, Instagram. Our Instagram has all of the links that I just mentioned, plus many other links. I think that's it for now. Is there anything that
can
you
I
want to
just
add?
say, can I just say that I am also offering free coaching this month, and if you might feel like you're going through some, I know, hardships, and you just want someone to listen or show you a different perspective on things, or you're just wanting to put your thoughts together and kind of move into a certain direction, but you feel like maybe there's something stopping you, and you just need to chat on it, then I'm here. So I'm offering free coaching this month, and I can help you put your thoughts together and help you achieve your goals
And where
in
can we
your life
contact
and
you?
in spirituality.
Where can we contact you? Oh. Life is gone on IG, but we're still moving on there. Can you hear me, Eva?
But yes, you can find me under Mersong, at Mersong, MYRRHSONG.
Can you hear me, Eva?
Let's just wait. I think Zoila's battery finally kicked in.
Eva, can you hear me?
And
she cannot hear me.
She's probably dying. Not
channel.
As in she's physically dying. Her battery is low, and
she cannot hear me here. Eva.
So it's back on YouTube, but not on Instagram.
Can you hear me here? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you because I'm using the sound on my phone.
Then swap it, because I can't hear you.
Are you able to go on Instagram or not?
No, swap it, because I can hear you here. So I have to go to Instagram anyways. And tell her to swap it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was talking to you.
Yeah, no, I'm still live, I think, but it's just you're frozen on guided AAA.
Oh, wow.
I just need a tissue right now.
So we're still live on YouTube. I just wanted to say everybody that we are gonna be on IG and YouTube and Facebook under the name of Guided AAA. It's gonna be to the next time. Bye.
Bye.